Hello YouTube, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly video, and I've got some stuff to show you. Alright, so this week I got two new things basically added to the collection, and that was pretty much it. This other stuff I'm going to show you is stuff we haven't featured in a weekly video, but I've had for a little bit of time. Yeah, and though before we begin, I want to shout out two YouTubers that are pretty new to the YouTube scene and that I really enjoy, and I've been watching all of their videos as they come out. Great diecast channels that you should definitely give a follow to. One is This Is My Diecast Life. You can also find him on Instagram. I've gotten the chance to chat with him a little bit over Instagram and stuff like that. He just recently started doing YouTube videos. Doesn't have a whole boatload of subscribers yet, so if you guys like looking at premium diecast and stuff like that, and that's probably why you watch this channel, you'll definitely want to check him out. So This Is My Diecast Life. I will go ahead and post that to I'll put the link to his channel in the description of this video. The other one is Diecastrum. Definitely check him out. You may already follow him on Instagram. He now does a YouTube channel, and this gentleman is from overseas to me. He's from Romania, and recently I've gotten a chance to chat with him over Instagram and stuff like that, and I currently am acting as a hub for him in the United States. So he's been buying stuff. It's been getting shipped basically to my location, and then I box it up and forward it on to him. And in return, I know he's going to send me some pretty cool stuff. But anyway, he's a really cool guy and shows a lot of amazing stuff. A lot of green machines, a lot of Tomica Limited Vintage, and some other items as well. So check out both of those channels. I will go ahead and put links to both channels in the description of this video. I've just been watching all their videos, and I've been really enjoying them. It's cool to have some peers. You know, I had Travis, Heavy Metal 164. Of course, he hasn't been posting anything. Lamar Fashion was another really great one that hasn't been posting, hasn't posted a video in a really, really long time. So it's really cool to get a couple of peers back in YouTube. It's just fun to hear other people's opinions of cars that I also have or might want and stuff like that. Anyway, all right, so I'll stop talking about that, but I will post the links to their channels. I just wanted to shout them out. All right, moving on to some stuff that we're going to show in this video. One is going to be this. I've had this for a little while. I got this at the same time that I got the Ferrari Testarossas from Tomica Limited Vintage. We are going to check out the Pajero. This is pretty awesome. I did open this up and I did take a look at it. It is such a cool piece. So we will take a look at this close up in the second segment, and then we will also take a look at this guy close up in the second segment. So we've got this Honda Civic SIR2, and we will definitely take a look at that. I only picked up one. I only picked up one color of each of these. I got the white one of this, not the forest green one, and I got this one without the white stripe on the side. It's got the blue stripe. So grab those two, and so we'll take a look at those. We're going to take a look at a couple of things from the Tor box. If you've seen the box I got from my buddy Tor, Eric Baki, at TEBAKKE on Instagram. He doesn't really post anything, but is an avid commenter and has a great collection. I wish he would share more of it. So anyway, he sent me a bunch of stuff. One was a Kyosho model kit. I did put that together. It's right here. So we'll take a look at this car. It is a Ferrari F430 GT. So we will take a look at that car in the upcoming second half of the video. And then he sent me a couple cars that needed some tender love and care. One was this Bentley Continental GT3, which came to me with a broken wing. I was able to affix the wing. I think I did a good job. It looks nice and straight. We'll show it close up in the second segment off of the base, where I'll finally take it off the base and put it in my carry case of Kyoshos. And then also sent me this Dodge Challenger from Kyosho. in this orange. This one also needed some care. One of these side mirrors was broken off, and I had to re-affix it to the body. So I was able to get both of those repairs done, and I think they both look pretty good. This one definitely looks, it's hard to notice that it was actually ever fixed. This one, if you look real close, well, you'll see them in the second segment close up, so I'll show you them both. The other thing we are going to do is we're going to open up, I did not open up two of these Tomica Basics when I did the original video of the unboxing. So we are going to open up these. It's a Ford Mustang GT V8 and a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. Both Tomica Basic models. And we are going to open them up. They're still cellophane wrapped. I'll probably rip the cellophane off before we get to it, because the cellophane on these for some reason is sometimes really hard to get to. So we'll do that, and then we'll also open up this little kind of weird one. This is a Mazda. Mazda is this. Anyway, we'll get a better look at it next segment. This is a weird one. Weird little carded Tomica. So we'll open up that. Oh, it's actually already kind of open. I didn't even realize that. Mazda Atenza. I don't know what that equates to. Is that a US Mazda? I don't think so. Looks like a Mazda 6 maybe or something. I don't know. Anyway, we'll look at it close up in the second segment of the video. And then the two things that I actually got in the mail that are new to the collection. One of them being this Jaguar XK. This is a Malibu die-cast model. This was also released, I think only one release in Greenlight Motor World. I do have that car too. It's in red. So we'll take a look at the silver one as well as the red one together. And then I got this Dodge Viper SRT 10, which is also a Malibu die-cast model. And this casting, I believe, was also released as a Greenlight Motor World casting. I don't think, I'm looking up at my Greenlight Motor Worlds here, and I do not think that I have it. No, I don't. So I don't have the Greenlight version. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, I know they did release this as a Greenlight Motor World casting in the early days of Greenlight Motor World. So yeah, that's it. But we got a lot of cool premium stuff to look at. No Hot Wheels stuff to look at, but everybody else is going to be, that's into Hot Wheels, probably hardcore, is at the convention, which is going on right now while I'm filming this video, and will be going on while this video is releasing. So a lot of people are going to be into that and what's coming out in that. The convention's in LA. There's no way I could ever make it to one of those. It would be cool to go to another convention, but most of the cool thing is just shopping at those conventions. So that's what's cool to me. Anyway, all right, that's going to be it for this video, or yeah, maybe for the video, but it for this segment of the video. We're going to go ahead and flip the camera around, and we got a lot of really nice stuff to look at, so stay tuned. All right, guys, let's start the second segment here by taking a look at this Jaguar XK from High Speed, or not from, well, it's High Speed Tooling. Yep, Malibu International Limited is what this release was put out as. And here it is in silver. We're going to go ahead and unscrew it from the base, because it shall remain off of the base now. And let's take a peek at it. I like this a lot. I like this casting a lot. I took some cool pictures of the red one that was found in the Motor World series a while ago, and got a lot of really cool feedback on it. I think it's a very good looking casting. This is a little part of the base that broke off. Not the base of the car, but the base it was screwed to. It looks great in silver. Some of these Motor World cars, like I said, I've been featuring them occasionally as I pick them up. I'm getting any of the ones that have like really nice details. There are some castings that are not as good as these. Some of them are really nice though, with rubber tires, really nice looking wheels, really nice looking inserted headlights and taillights, like this particular one. These are metal body, plastic base, but just a really good look, really good looking car. Here it is in red. This is the one that was actually released in Motor World as a Greenlight release. And it also looks really good. This one even goes a step further here. It's got the indicators on it, which this one does not have. Although this one's got the little teeny tiny Jaguar logo in there. So it does have a detail that the other one doesn't have. And it's also got a plate where the other one doesn't have it, but this one has reverse lights. So, pretty cool. Both of these are really cool. So I like a lot of these castings. They're just really nice. So different. I almost lump these together as a premium casting, like a Kyosho, because they're really that nice. I don't know how close to the actual 1/64 scale they are, but they're very nice. So there's a look at that one. And then sticking with that theme, the next thing we got is this Dodge Viper SRT10. Now this one is not as nice of a casting, but I got this one super cheap. I was like watching it, and then an eBayer sent me an offer to buy this thing for $2. And I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll get it. It was like $2 and like $4 shipping or something like that. $4 or $5 shipping. Either way, maximum cost of like $7 for this, and I couldn't pass it up, so I was like, all right, let's grab it. Good job offering me that. I appreciate it. This one also has a little nub broken off from the little base that it comes on. It's interesting that both of them had that. It is no matter, because it's going to stay off. Some of these Motor World castings / whatever high-speed castings do not have rubber tires, and this is one of those. This actually does have plastic tires. It does not have lens detail, as you can see, for the headlights, which is a shame because it would look really cool if it did. And it does not have lens detail, of course, for the taillights, but it still is a very detailed model. Those wheels are kind of tough to even see that they're not rubber, but they're plastic. Still a very good-looking, highly detailed model. I kind of collect Dodge Vipers a little bit, so this is one I had to get. And for the price, I just couldn't deny it, so had to pick it up. Very, very cool. All right, what should we look at next? Should we look at Kyosho or should we look at Tomica? Let's look at Tomica Limited Vintage. Let's just get these out of the way because these are going to be, I don't know, the nicest cars in this video, in my opinion. At least pretty close to the nicest cars in the video. Here it is, Tomica Limited Vintage Neo. These were pre-ordered from Japan Booster, which is a very good way to pre-order cars. Definitely is, especially if you're a packaging collector, because they do provide this little extra kind of protecto around their standard Tomica boxes, Tomica Limited Vintage boxes, which you're not going to get from anywhere else, as far as I know. So I'm just going to put this back in the box, because this box is now going to get put away, and the car is going to go on display. I'll deal with that later. But this is LVN 182 version B. The version A is going to be the vehicle that has like a forest green, metallic green. These are true to scale, and these are done amazingly well. I mean, you can't get a more detailed car in 1/64 scale. I just don't think it's really all that possible, especially one that like rolls. It's got rubber tires, and it's got suspension, which is just kind of a crazy feature. I don't know how necessary the feature is, but it's pretty cool. And this is all metal. So this is a metal base. It's a painted metal base, metal body, highly detailed interior, etc., etc. It is absolutely wonderful. My Tomica Limited Vintage collection is definitely growing. It's almost at 40 or so pieces now. Maybe at some time I'll show them all the ones I've got, but I've got some more coming on the way. So I've got at least a couple already. They're probably in transit. And yeah, so it's an addiction. The addiction is real with these. Once you get one or two, you really kind of, it's just like, I don't know. I akin it to maybe people that collect watches or something like that. It's just, and these are cheaper than collecting watches, so pretty cool. I definitely think it's awesome. All right, so there is that one. And then the next one we have is this one here. This one did not come with a little protector on it because the box is much larger. So this is a Tomica Limited Vintage Neo LVN 189 version B. And it is the Pajero Mitsubishi. And here it is. This is definitely an interesting one. This one does come with an extra piece in this little baggie here, which is actually a third mirror that, if you can see in the picture here, it would go right up here. This is the one thing that sort of bugs me about Tomica Limited Vintage is they give you optional pieces to put on, and I am not going to mess around with gluing anything on these cars. I just am not going to do it. So anyone that comes with an extra piece, it's going to stay in that bag, and it's never going to get affixed to the car. Just the way it is. It doesn't really need that mirror to look great anyway, as you can see. So there's just no purpose for me to put that on there, and I'm not going to. So this thing is amazing. Okay, this does not have suspension. It's one of the models that does not. I'm being careful not to drop it on that mirror. It does have a metal base, it appears. Yeah, that's got to be metal. So it's a metal base, but then it has plastic details that are affixed to the bottom to make up what appears to be like the drivetrain and stuff like that, suspension, a fuel tank action, all that stuff. And so there's a good look at the base. Here's a good look at the car. Chrome grille with the inserted headlights. Just looks amazing. The attention to detail on these it really just is second to none. Spare tire is legit. It's an actual same wheel as the wheel that's right there. Interior looks very detailed, sculpted wise, and just really, really nicely done. So as far as standard stock vehicles go, I mean, Tomica Limited Vintage is, by far the best, and you should get the best for the price that these things are, absolutely. So, you guys know I love Auto World. They're definitely the most detailed as far as it comes to U.S. made for U.S. market brands, I believe, that are sold in stores, and they come in at a fraction of the cost of these. So they do a great job too, but this is just a bit of a step above, and it should be for the price that it is. And typically the quality control on these is absolutely amazing. I have not gotten a troubled one yet, and knock on wood that I don't get one. At the price they are, they definitely got to have good quality control. Okay, so there that one is. Quite amazing indeed. I think so. All right. So for a lot of people, actually, this was the highlight of the batch, even though the Ferraris were in the batch. So very, very cool. Now let's take a look at these basics, starting with the Mustang GT V8. So these come in a box, in a baggie. Great diecast comes in boxes. It's just the truth. All right, so there's that. Here's the Mustang. So it's a basic Tomica. So it has basic features, but it does have details. It's got some details. It's got the basic wheels. It's got suspension. It's got a plastic base, and it has a metal body with opening features. We got opening doors on this model. Pretty typical for Tomica basics to have opening features. and usually they operate very well, and it's kind of a cool little car. It may not be the best looking 1/64 scale Mustang, and it's really not truly 1/64 scale, it's 1/67 scale, which is another weird thing about Tomica. It's kind of like any other basic car, they're really not true to scale. Even though I have noticed that Hot Wheels new models, like the newer castings that they've come out with, have been very, very, very close to 1/64 scale. So they've been doing a great job on basic models. Same thing with your basic Matchbox. They've been doing a really good job too. So, but this is just cool. I've been really, I don't know, charmed by these basic Tomica castings lately. All right, so let's take a look at another one here. We've got the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. So it's got your holographic licensed by Daimler sticker. Ooh, this one's going to have opening going doors. It's got suspension. Okay, this one should be interesting. I did not know this one had opening doors, so that's going to be a cool thing to take a look at. Truth be told, I've always thought this car was kind of ugly. And this basic model is okay. I just always thought the car was kind of oddly proportioned. But the going doors are sweet. To me, this car looks like a Chrysler, to be honest. But it is still really cool to get it. So, and this one is in 1/65 scale. Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. Yeah, the going doors are really cool, and they operate really nicely. A little bit of a gap there, so that looks a little weird. A thick gap, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how collectible these basic Tomicas are in the future. If it's something that's tougher to come by and stuff like that. In the States, the older Tomicas are tough to get, so they can be quite collectible. So it'll be interesting to see with these basic Tomicas, how they do on the secondhand market later on. Which the secondhand market is a good way to judge. Not necessarily how cool something is, but just how collectible it is, I guess, just by how desirable it is and how where the price goes on the secondhand market. So right now you can get these fairly inexpensive. This is that Mazda. Pretty cool looking little basic car. Little taxi. It's got opening doors. Which are done pretty well. And just a little basic Tomica. These little button style wheels. I actually kind of like those wheels. And the other thing is these wheels, this wheel style has been around. They've used this same style basic wheel since basically the beginning of Tomica little basic cars, which was back in like what, the 70s. So they've been using these wheels for a long time. Basically the same style. And I mean, they only have two styles, so, you either love them or hate them, I guess, or you're indifferent to them. I actually kind of like both. I do. So, that's pretty cool. All right, so moving on from there, let's take a look at some Kyosho. I've got 3 here to show. We're going to start with the Ferrari. This is one I had to put together. I re-screwed it back onto the base. This is the Ferrari 430 GT. Is available in red and black, and I think it was it just red and black? Yeah, just red and black. This is from Ferrari Collection 3. If you don't know why, I've explained it several times, but the reason why these things come in model kit format, which means you have to kind of assemble them, is just to get around the licensing for Ferrari for 1/64 scale cars. That's basically what it was. Because since Mattel had the exclusive licensing for Ferrari for a long time, and then after that it's been Mei Chong Group, which thankfully has been subletting the license out to Tomica, which is why we're seeing Tomica Limited Vintage Ferraris. I'm just putting this case back together. So Kyosho always has had to kind of skirt the license a little bit. And the only way that they were able to get away with 1/64 scale car Ferraris is by making them in model kit form. So this is technically a model kit. Pretty awesome car, though. The only issue with some of these Kyoshos, and you'll see it on some older models, is sometimes they can suffer from a little bit of paint rash. Which has been a hot topic of debate on Hot Customs YouTube channel. There's another shout out for another YouTube channel you should probably be watching if you're into premium diecast. Has done some videos on paint rash recently, and this one's got it. This one's got a little bit of paint rashing right there. This is not to the point of where it wouldn't be able to be buffed out. This definitely could be buffed out. I don't know if I'll spend the time ever doing it, but you can see the paint has bubbled a little bit. And there's some contention as to what exactly causes that. In my opinion, it's probably some sort of contaminated paint. And something happened during the process of it getting painted on. Maybe that the casting didn't get degreased or something before the paint went on. I'm not really sure, but it tends to deteriorate over time. And you just hope that it's not zinc pest, which is a whole nother thing, a whole nother topic you can Google and take a look at. Zinc pest is where eventually the casting will just rot away and the metal will actually have issues. I don't think these have issues with the metal. I think it's going to be an issue with the actual paint. It could stay like this forever. There is also a slight chance that it could get worse. So hopefully it doesn't. That's the one thing you got to watch out with some of the older, it tends to be older Kyosho models, earlier series stuff that has the potential for this issue. So, and I'm not sure if it's certain colors. It seems to be, I think it's actually, I've seen it more on highly glossed colors. So it might be an interaction over time with whatever they use to clear coat over the color coat. I'm not entirely sure, but all I know is it's unfortunate and it can happen. There is a way to, I don't know if there's any way to prevent it, but there is a way to rectify it. But it involves a lot of steps and it's quite complicated, which involves, sanding and polishing the casting, which is really tough to do on these little tiny cars. So, but either way, it's only got it on this one kind of side. The door is where it's bad. It's got a little bit on the hood and the roof, and but this side looks perfect on this side. So it's hard to notice unless you're looking at it close up, but it's definitely noticeable when you look at it close up. But it's, I guess, somewhat unavoidable with these older Kyosho models. So anyway, just some food for thought. When you're buying this stuff online, take a look at the pictures really close up if you can. Sometimes you can't, so you won't have any idea until you get it, and it's going to be a little bit of a gamble. All right, next up we got this guy, Dodge Challenger. This is in USA Sports Car Collection, Mini Car Collection 2, I think. Yeah, it's the second mini car collection for USA Sports Cars, which is a really good Kyosho mini car collection. They did some pretty darn good job on some of these US cars, including this Dodge Challenger. So this is one that had a broken mirror that needed fixing, and I was able to fix it to the best of my ability and able to re-glue the mirror back on. And I think I did a pretty good job. Here is, well, first of all, just see if you could tell which side was re-glued. Yeah, maybe you just saw it. This one right here. This was the side that I re-glued. I think I did a good job of getting it straight on there, though. If you look close again, there's fingerprinting on here too, but you can see a little bit of the hazing from the glue, and you can see a little bit of the glue right there. So not a perfectly clean job, but yeah, I think I did all right. The casting itself is really awesome. It's got lens detail on the back there. It's got inserted detail in the front, and they did a really good job of this car. This one does not have any paint bubbling issue at all. It rolls really nice too. It's got a really nice weight to it as well. Pretty heavy car. So looks really good and is pretty awesome. So I'm happy with that one. I'm happy with how that turned out. I thought about leaving the mirror off, but you actually really could see where the mirror was because it broke the post off. These have like little posts that go inside a hole in the body, and that post was still in the hole. So it was really noticeable before I glued back on the mirror, and it's sort of noticeable now, but definitely not as much. So it passes. It's definitely going to stay in my collection, and I really don't need another example of this car then. So pretty cool. All right, and then lastly, this thing's really awesome, and I think I did a really good job putting the wing back on this one. This one I knew was going to be a bit easier to pull off. So this is the Bentley Continental GT3, and now I think I've got all the Bentleys I could ever want from that series. And here it is, nice race car in pearl white with green accents, a number on it, some racing graphics, and it just looks awesome. The only thing about this one is it rides so low that it pretty much scrapes the ground and the wheels do not turn. Now this one is screwed together. I could take this one apart. I could mess with it a little bit. I bet you I'd be able to get it to roll, but I don't know if there's really any point in putting that much effort into trying to get it to roll. But I know if I pulled them apart, I definitely could get it to roll. You just loosen up one of the screws probably actually in the back, and this thing will probably go. But either way, not super necessary. This one's got lens detail, of course, for headlights. It's got just quite a lot of detail all around. Very good look to it. And you can probably see a little bit from the back side here where I glued the wing back on because it was completely broken off. But it's on there, very solid, and I think it looks pretty good. So, pretty cool. The glue I used for this is just a Loctite gel super glue, is what I used for it. And that was it. I was a little afraid of it. Sometimes when you use like a super glue, it will make like a cloudy plastic look. So I was a little afraid of it doing that. So I did test it first on another plastic, and it didn't cause that issue. So I went ahead and put it on this Bentley actually first because it would have been the easier one to glue, and it turned out. So then I went and did it on the Challenger, and it sort of turned out as well. So, all right, that's going to be it for this video, guys. So a lot of really cool stuff to look at. Again, check out those channels that I mentioned throughout the video if you want more diecast content and some premium stuff, because those channels pretty much all show, the majority of it is all premium diecast. So if you're into that stuff, I would hope you are if you're still watching this, go ahead and check that out. So these are obviously the two coolest pieces in the video. It's Tomica Limited Vintage, just can't mess with it. But I don't know, I guess third place we're going with the Bentley, and then fourth place for the video, I don't know, I do this every once in a while, we're gonna go with this Jag. Actually, this Jag is super cool. All right, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching another really long one. I do appreciate it, and have yourself a good day.